Earlier today, I reported a case that I'm very certain of. A case where Mr. Olu Campbell alleged that Honorable or Mr. Davis Emeka Ebo collected his $230,000 using the disguise of a contract, government contract. Okay, I want to bring Mr. Olu Campbell live. I'm bringing Mr. Campbell live to come and speak so we can hear his story in details, how it actually happened, making you use the mouth to talk. All right, let's start, please. Let's roll. I can hear you now. Good afternoon, good evening. Please tell us what happened.
Okay, let me get straight to the story. So I teach IT, and through my IT training, I met this man, Davis Igbo. I met his younger brother, which is Michael Igbo, and also another younger brother, who is called Kester. So I trained both of them. In IT. So after that, that's when Michael, which is the younger brother to Davis, introduced me to Davis and says, my older brother has a son, his oldest son, which is Emeka Jr. He said, the boy is in Bowie State University and he's in his first year, but he's not doing well, that he's thinking maybe the guy should go into IT, that if I can train him. So I said, okay, cool. So I said, so I met with Davis and he talked about, hey, introduce his son and everything. He said, talk to him. I want you to mentor him and see how he can get into tech. So, I introduced myself to the young boy. I think he was 17 or 18 then, and he decided to register my class. I think I sent you all the proof of the registration. Even the payment, the last payment that they made, I sent you the proof of that, which was $700. So, I mean, that's how I knew him. So after the class, I became close to the family, including his wife. So I go to their house. Sometimes the son comes to my house because our house is about 10 minutes apart. We live in the same community in Maryland, which is called Bowie. So yeah, so that's pretty much how I knew this guy. Then he started, he goes to Nigeria, and come back and say, oh, I did this contract, I made this, you are in IT, I can help you get into contract in Abuja and this, I know all the senators and House of Rep, and whenever they appoint contract to them, most of them don't want to execute the contract, so they're always looking for someone that can take over the contract and execute it. So I was like, I was on the sideline for a while, and I told my wife about it. And I mean, she wasn't forthcoming. She's not from Nigeria, so she wasn't forthcoming about it. I was like, no, I don't think it's something you want to dabble into. But because as our relationship get better, I decided that I'm going to go against my wife's advice and do this deal with him. And so we started chatting, and he sent me some of the contract. He said, look at this contract, which I sent. Is one of the ones that you posted. He said, look at this one now. It's 78 million. We'll buy it from the person that the contract is given to for like 20 million. Based on my estimate, I think it's going to cost about 30 million to execute. So we're going to make something out of it. I said, oh, that's strange. He said, so most of the time it does like 4 or 5 of this in a month, I mean, this guy that I'm talking about, his house in US is like $1 million house. So, I mean, he drives a Range Rover. So it's not, it's not someone you can just look at and say that, okay, he doesn't have the means, I don't seem like he was after my money. So it was never that never crossed my mind. And the fact that, I also trained the son and I trained the 2 brothers, and I became close to the wife. The wife knows me, So I never thought anything could happen. So I said, okay, what can we do now? I said, what we need to do is that let's set up a company. So we decided to come up with the name. We live in Bowie in Maryland. So we decided to come up with Bowie Ventures Investment Company. So we registered the company, which I send you a proof of it. All this thing that I'm talking about, I have proof of everything, you know, even the police, you know, they have the proof of everything. So we register, a lawyer was involved, you know, I sent my 3 directors and he sent his own 3 directors and we registered the company, you know. The register, I mean, the address of the company is even the address of his present company right now. So we registered the company. After we registered, I said, okay, what's the next thing? And he told me that now you need to move money. So, I mean, you might need around $200,000 and $250,000 for us to really execute a good project. So I said, you know, my boss, I know you do deals of 500 million, 300 million. Me, I don't have that kind of money. You know, all the money saved up between me and my partner, my wife, is about 240,000. He said, okay, I mean, you should be able to do something with that. And I mean, within 1 month, you know, we're going to execute this contract and you'll be able to put the money back into, you know, the joint family account that you took it from. So I was like, it's like talking to your mentor. So I wired the money to, I don't have Nigerian account. I don't have any investment in Nigeria. So I was wondering how I was going to send 200 and something to Nigeria. Then he said, just send it to my account. Send it to my account in US, which I show you the proof to. And so I sent it to his account. He said, when, you know, I'll let you know immediately it gets to my account. I send you a chat where he confirms that I received the money. He said, I received the money. I will transfer it to Nigeria and we can make plans. So after I said he has received the money, as he said, you need to make a plan to come to Abuja. I haven't been in Nigeria, in Abuja ever.
But were you born in Nigeria?
Huh? Yeah, I was born in Nigeria. Yeah, I was born in Nigeria. So I decided to, you know, make a trip to Abuja. I even stayed at his house for almost 1.5 months. I stayed at his house in Gusape. You know, I stayed at his house for 1.5 months. So I go with him. I mean, I was going to church with this guy every Sunday when I was at his house. That's how bad this thing is. I was going to his church. He would tell me that, oh, let's go to church on Sunday. You know, on Monday, we go to his office. He was saying that, oh, we're waiting for some of this contract. We're waiting for some of this contract. We waited for contract. None of the contract came. And I said, oh, Mr. Davis, why is it that when I decided to go into this thing with you, that's when contract is not forthcoming? He said, don't mind, it's Buhari. Buhari is doing his thing. So let's just see what is going to happen. So we waited till, I think I was there in September. I was there through October and November. So the second week of
19.
November, 2019, nothing was happening. So he just told me, he said, I don't think anything is going to happen again. So let's just go back to Maryland. We'll come back, you know, in the beginning of the year and we'll proceed from where we started. So I said, okay. I mean, he said, your money is safe. There's nothing wrong with your money. You know, let's just, you know, let's come back 2020, you know, and January 2020 came. Even the Christmas of Thanksgiving, was it Thanksgiving? Yeah, Thanksgiving. We have the celebration in US called Thanksgiving. I spent the Thanksgiving at his house in Maryland, you know, celebration, because he's the head of the Idemli group or something in
Idemli local government in Anambra State.
Yeah, I think they have an association in Maryland, so he's the head of them. So he did a party at his house. I was there, you know. He even introduced me to some people. It was like, this is like a brother to me. You know, this guy helped my 2 brothers, and also he's helping my son. So that's why I invited him to be among us today. And I feel like belonging to the family. So I didn't see any red flag. So after we're supposed to be doing in Abuja. So a friend of mine lives in Rwanda. So he said, hey, you might want to come to Rwanda. I'm doing this tech startup. So I went to Rwanda for the project. And when I was there was a contract that came in with MTN. It was like a IT contract, sensor provision. So they were looking for someone to take over the contract. The person they assigned it to couldn't deliver. So that was around February, March. So, and I haven't heard anything from Davis. So I called Mr. Davis. I said, Mr. Davis, this is our contract that is not forthcoming. I don't know what's going on. So why don't you do this? Out of that money, please send me $60,000. I have a contract here in Rwanda that I can quickly execute. And the payment is within 30 days. You know, I already have, you know, the people that are going to supply the sensor. They call it IoT sensors that you install on communication towers. I said $60,000. Just give me $60,000 out of the $230,000 I gave you. They said, congratulations with your contract in Rwanda. Well, I didn't know you're going to change your mind at this point. You know, I've already invested the money into some contract. I was like, I don't understand. He said some tender.
I think your voice is breaking. Or is it from my end? I think his voice is breaking.
Hello? Hello? Am I still breaking? Hello?
Hello?
Am I still breaking? You said my voice is breaking.
I think it's clear now. Your voice is fluent, but your video is just static. We had it.
How is it now?
Stable, better.
Okay. So as I was saying, so I asked him for $60,000, $30,000. Then he sent me a text message. He said, I've already invested most of the money into 3 permanent secretary, you know, and we're expecting 500 million contract. And I was like, hold on. This is not the strategy. You told me that we're buying contracts from people that are already been awarded the contract so that we don't have to pursue the contract and we just execute it and make profit. So now you're saying that you give, you know, almost $230,000 that I sent to you, that you give it to 3 permanent secretary and you're expecting 500 million. I sent you a screenshot where he said that, and it wasn't making sense to me. Yeah, it wasn't making sense to me. So that's the problem. This. They just send me your account. So I send in my Bank of America account, which you will see there. I send in my Bank of America account where the money came from, which is my account. So he sent $20,000. So I woke up the next morning and I saw a lot on my phone. It was $20,000. You know, I called him, I couldn't reach him. Then I called his wife, and the wife said, just, you know, he's in Nigeria. Wait till they wake up and he will call you. Then when he woke up, he didn't call me back. He just texted me. He said, just take the $20,000. I will give you the rest before the end of the week. I sent you the screenshot where he said that, where I will give you the rest by the end of the week. So that was it. So I said, okay, I'll wait till the end of the week. Around that time, so I was talking to my sister, you know, and my sister said, hey, this guy, do you ever even check him up and see that, I mean, he does this contract you're talking about, this, that. I said, why? He said, because we checked him out and we realized that there was a story about him with Sahara Report, how he embezzled him and his brothers, they took 1.5 billion from the federal government.
Brothers you trained in IT, I be another brothers.
Another brother, that one lives in Abuja. I send you a screenshot and the story which Sahara Report did.
Yes.
And they did a story about how they took 1.5 billion to install street light in Jigawa or in some state, but they disappear with the money. He said, read the story. So I read the story, and that's where I started crying. That I think I'm in a bad spot because I can see where this might be going. So, but I still have faith that maybe, you know, if I keep talking to the wife and everything, then all of a sudden, because he doesn't pick up phone that much. So the wife told me that Well, I talked to Davis. Davis told me that the business you guys are trying to do in Nigeria, that you guys have invested money, but the government have decided to take over the contract. I said, I don't understand this story. But even though I was talking to the wife, he was sending me messages, which I sent you. He said it's because of Corona and all that, and I will give you your money back. You know, he even states somewhere whereby I'm sending you $100,000 now. You know, just expect $100,000, and I will set the rest of it by the end of the month. The $100,000 did not show. None of it showed. All of a sudden, I just noticed that this man blocked me.
The man blocked you?
Yeah, he blocked me. I even tried other phone to call him. He blocked me. He told me, you know, I went to try to talk to his son. You know, I know his son. I trained the son. And the boy was like, hey, bro, Olu, I don't know what to tell you. Let me call mom and talk to mom. So he talked to his mom. His mom called me and said, the wife's name is Tony. He's an American. He said, hey, Olu, this thing is between you and Davis. I've tried to talk to him. He said the issue is in Nigeria, that if you want your money, you should come to Nigeria and deal with the issue. So I was like, why this? But why do you block me? You know, you've paid $20,000. You say you're going to pay the rest back. So I waited. He said, Corona, this. Towards the end of the year, that's when he said he was sending me 100,000. Okay, I'm going to liquidate some properties. I keep asking him, why do you have to liquidate property to pay me back? Because, I mean, you said there's a contract that you put this money into, and you're expecting 500 million. You stated it.
You are saying that you've put in the money into contract. So why are you liquidating properties to refund me? Why don't you get money from the contract proceed and pay me back?
Exactly. And that's what I was wondering, that the story just keeps changing. The story keeps changing. So when it blocked me, then I started looking for means. I tried talking to people. They say, just be patient with the guy. Even his wife, his younger brother said, Davis will surrender. He has 2 Range Rover in US. When I came to Abuja, he drive a G-Guard. So, I mean, my money is $230,000. I think G-Guard is more than $230,000. So I wasn't expecting someone to be after $230,000. If, based on what he said he makes about $1 million a month in contracting and also real estate. He does real estate and joint venture. Anyway, so that's where the story started getting.
In the heart of a state capital.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. So that's where the story just started getting complicated. So after a while, I realized that, okay, this is not going anywhere. So I petitioned FCID. I submitted all my evidence, and they did their own gatherings, and they realized what was going on. They told me that you just been scammed by this guy. So they brought him in.
FCID told you?
Yeah. FCID, Abuja.
When they saw every proof?
They say you've been scammed, that this is a contract scam. They even check some of the contract is sent to me. They called the appropriate channel to check all those contracts, and they just concluded to me that you've been scammed. And so they brought him in. He was arrested. He was in.
That means I'm using the word allegedly for corporate purposes. If FCID, if they have said it themselves, FCID, that means. Well, let's continue.
So anyway, so he was in their custody for about 3 or 4 days until he was able to bail out. So I think it was his older brother that bailed him out from FCID. So before he was bailed out, we had a meeting, and he said that by the 28th of February 2024, he's going to provide a remedy for the situation. So we waited. So when 28 came, he didn't show up. My lawyer showed up, and he sent his lawyer to provide a letter stating that he's critically ill, and his doctor advised him not to move around. I mean, if you call FCID, they have the proof. they have the proof of the medical report stating that he's critically ill. And one of the officers told me that that's what we always get with these people. They will tell you they're critically ill, you know, but they are, what's it called? Well, anyway, that's what they said. They said he said he was critically ill, so he's getting some medical checkup and everything. So, I mean, immediately we started seeing that. My lawyer told me that it seems this case is compromised. That something of a change hand based on what he is saying. My lawyer have been dealing with cases like this. He said, based on what he noticed, it seems something is going on. He said, but let's give them another 1 month. So we gave them 1 month, and they told me that, well, this case should be civil case. That, you know, they don't know why I'm approaching FCID, that it's a business transaction between me and him, that it should be civil case. So my lawyer just told me that, forget about FCID, this case has been compromised. Just let's file a petition with the IG office. And that's how we filed petition with the IG office, Special Investigative Unit. And under our petition also, we also told the IG office regarding what we filed at FCID. So they called FCID, and I think they even got some evidence from FCID to take over the case. So the Special Investigative Unit of the IG office is currently handling the case. They invited him once. He said he's in where's he? He's in Makurdi. He said he's in Makurdi, he can't come. So that they should give him 2 weeks. 2 weeks came, you know, he didn't show. So they invite him the second time, and they invite him the third time. They have the proof of all the invitation. So after the third invitation, he decided to change his lawyer. Then the new lawyer also started saying that, well, Mr. Davis is very busy and this. So they decided to get a warrant of his arrest, and they went to his house. So they went to his house the first time. The guy was not home. I think a couple of people are at his house in Gusape. Then he called the officers that came to the house. That, why are you at my house? And this. They said, well, we've invited you 3 times, you know, and you didn't show up. He said, well, the case is supposed to be civil. He doesn't want to deal with me. The case has already been at FCID, and FCID can see that the case doesn't have merit. So they said, if that's the case doesn't have a merit. You just show up with your lawyer and present your defense that the case does not have merit. That's what the police said. I think the case does not have merit. Instead of you know, avoiding us, come to the IG office, Special Investigative Unit, and present your defense that it doesn't have merit. And if we see that it doesn't have merit, we'll let you go. But guess what? He knows what he has done. He knows that the evidence is overwhelming. He uses his own hand to write all the messages he sent to me. We registered the business, you know, the money, even how we spent the money. We've already did an investigation, and we've realized how we spend the money, but it's something that I can, you know, provide right now until the case gets further. We've realized how we've traced the money from his account, and we've noticed how he spent the money. So, yeah, we have all this evidence. So if he has his own evidence, Special Investigative Unit, it's a neutral ground. I don't control the IG office. You don't control the IG office. So let's come to a neutral ground. You show up and present your defense. This guy doesn't want to show. So there's a warrant. Also, he's been avoiding. I don't think he even stay at his house because they've been there twice. All this thing I'm telling you, if you go to SIU, they will verify it. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, I don't want to. I think VDM also took the case a while back and tried to help me with the case. And this guy went, and I don't know how he reached out to the commissioner of FCT, quote unquote, something exchanged, and, you know, allegedly. Then they sent someone to go arrest VDM, but I guess the man does not know the evidence that we have against him. So when the evidence was presented at the FCT commissioner's office, when he saw the evidence, the man removed his hand. He said he doesn't want to be part of this. So VDM was only there for like 1 hour, and we just laughed out and left. This guy said he wants to sue VDM for defamation. VDM has been asking him, I'm waiting for the defamation so that we can really expose more evidence. What we've shared is just 10% of the evidence. We have a lot how this guy moved money, and not only my money, other people's money, you know.
I know he's watching this video.
Yeah.
And I know his family watching this video. I'm very much aware that VDM took up the case. That was why I didn't want to attend to you before.
Oh, okay, I see now. Yeah,
me, and he showed me. I said, VDM is on this case. Let me not jump in and let's see how it ends. Until you started giving me some updates during this Christmas period, I said, wow. The man appears to be a very stubborn man. Every day, once in a week for the next 10 years, I'm going to publish this man on all my channel.
yeah.
He needs a stubborn hand. Once a
yeah, I mean, currently, we even had, well, this is a rumor that the case, the Safari case, the one that was published, this case is they're investigating him at EFCC for the 1.5 billion. The story I sent to you, you know, how they were able to siphon 1.5 billion. You know, when I presented the case at EFCC, they just told me that, is this same guy? We've already on his case that, you know, this, but I mean, that's where we are currently. So the guy is very stubborn. You know, a lot of people have tried to appeal to him. I didn't do anything wrong to him. You know, I didn't do anything wrong to his son. You know, his son is working in IT. His two brothers is working in IT. I have a proof of that. You know, I can beat my chest that this is the work of my hand. I help these people. And you did this to me. You took $230,000 and you gave me $20,000 back, and you just want me to forget the remaining $210,000.
It's all right. I'm not going to say some things online. I'm not going to say something like, but you've spoken, we've heard you. So what do you want now? So we can conclude.
Me, I just want, you know, I mean, I know he has a political career, you know, and I'm not going to stop until I get my money.
And he's from my state.
Yeah. So yeah, I noticed that.
In a keg of a gunpowder now, it's very risky to him. He better settles you.
Yeah, and it's, you know,
and he,
you know,
in governor now, the same ABGA, the same political party. So that his career now don't be very dicey, because I know he will come again in 2027.
Yeah, so I mean, in context with everyone. So I know he definitely, because when VDM did the story, he said he lost a couple of business dealings because of the story. And through his lawyer, you know, his lawyer said that's the reason why he's going to fight this, that I mess him up, that he lost some business dealings because of the story. And I said, well, what do you expect me to do? I've tried to appeal to you.
I'm still waiting for my own defamation suit from him now. Let it be clear. We always stay appear in court.
Oh, no, you can't. No, you can't try that because the proof is too strong.
Suit 2025 from different people.
No, this man can't file a defamation suit. Because if you want to file a defamation suit, just make sure that we don't have enough evidence. The evidence is overwhelming. The evidence is overwhelming. Okay? You know? So there's no defamation.
Mr. Davis, may you reach out to this Mr. Olupia me money.
Yeah, just give me my money and I'll walk away. I don't need anything from you. I've learned my lesson not to ever deal with this kind of things.